Friends breathe life into each other. They encourage, they embolden, they edify. Such was the case for the unlikely friendship between Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, two iconic Americans, certainly not without fault, but who are credited with so many inventions and innovations that breathed life into this country's economy. As a young man, Henry Ford idolized Thomas Edison, 10 years his senior. Ford even went to work for the Detroit Edison Illuminating Company as a mechanical engineer. In his free time, he tinkered with building a gas-powered vehicle. In 1896, Ford traveled to New York to attend the convention for the Edison Illuminating Companies. During the conference, Ford even snuck some candid shots of the great Thomas Edison, inventor extraordinaire. And then, by mere chance, the two met. Edison had heard about Ford's car-building dreams. Ford was eager to share about his quadricycle, the first horseless carriage, atop 4 bicycle tires, powered by gas and steered with a tiller. While their encounter was brief, Ford was buoyed by the encouragement offered by Edison. He told him, "Young man, that's the thing. You have it. I think you're on to something. I encourage you to continue your pursuits." Ford continued his work. He left Detroit Edison and started his own company, which eventually evolved into the Ford Motor Company. And that short conversation also sparked a lifelong friendship between the two men. They began a correspondence, including birthday greetings each year. Ford even gifted Edison a Model T for his birthday. In 1914, the Ford family vacationed in Fort Myers, Florida, staying at the Edison winter home called the Seminole Lodge. Years earlier, Edison purchased property along the Caloosahatchee River for his winter retreat. The Fords then purchased the land next door, also on the river, and built their beautiful craftsman winter home there too. They called it the Mangoes. Together, they enjoyed the outdoors and all Southwest Florida had to offer: boating, fishing, swimming, shelling. The Edisons and Fords hosted many famous friends over the years, including President-elect Herbert Hoover and naturalist John Burroughs. When Edison's laboratory and factory burned in New Jersey in December of 1914, he was 67 years old. It was a devastating loss, but didn't deter Edison. He vowed to start again. Ford, by now a very rich man, gave him a large check to help him rebuild, when the insurance money only covered a portion of the damages. Between 1914 and 1924, Edison and Ford went on road trips together, with Harvey Firestone and John Burroughs joining them. They called themselves the Vagabonds and toured the eastern U.S. The purpose was twofold. It was a PR stunt in many regards, with Ford cars and Firestone tires on full display. Headlines like "Millions of dollars worth of brains off on a vacation" and "Genius to sleep under the stars" were popular. But even more importantly, it was a time for these men, these wealthy, intelligent creators, to get away and simply enjoy the company of friends. They camped, they conversed, they competed in races and tree-chopping contests. They laughed and shared stories around the campfire. Their camaraderie deepened. In the 1920s, the Fords purchased their own train car to ensure privacy when they traveled. They called it Fairlane. It had 4 bedrooms, a dining room, a kitchen, a lounge, and it could host 8 people. The Fords used it for over 400 trips. Frequent guests, of course, were the Edisons and the Firestones. In 1927, Edison, Ford, and Firestone went into business together, founding the Edison Botanic Research Corporation. They were deeply concerned about America's dependence on foreign rubber sources. They were determined to develop a domestic source for rubber. They built the lab on the Fort Myers property, and it became the international headquarters for the project. Edison was 80. Toward the end of his life, Edison was confined to a wheelchair. Ford, ever the loyal friend and strong competitor, got himself a wheelchair too, so they could have wheelchair races. Can you imagine? Two of the greatest minds, issued over 2,100 patents, responsible for so much progress and development during the 20th century, hooting and hollering, white hair blowing as they raced their wheelchairs under the Florida sun. Thomas Edison died in 1931 at the age of 84. As he took his last breath on this earth, his son noticed open racks of test tubes in the bedroom. Charles Edison asked the attending physician to seal them, capturing Edison's last breath in a bottle. Charles then presented the sealed tube to Ford as a token of his friendship with his father. Their friendship was genuine and symbiotic. They breathed life and encouragement into one another for decades, and Ford now had Edison's final breath as a symbol of their kinship. It was a treasured gift for the grief-stricken Ford. Henry Ford died in 1947 at the age of 83. Mina Edison, in this same year, gifted her home and grounds in Florida to the city of Fort Myers. The Ford home was privately sold, but was acquired by the city in 1988. Today, the Edison and Ford Winter Estates are restored and open to visitors. Walking the beautiful grounds is like stepping back in time. The 20 acres of gardens contain 1,700 plants, representing over 400 species from 6 continents that these men once used for research. The museum has inventions and artifacts and pictures. The laboratory, where Edison tested more than 17,000 plant samples, is now a National Historic Chemical Landmark. It's fun to imagine Ford and Edison here, laughing, talking, tinkering, and dreaming. You can catch a glimpse of how these two families, these two men, came to relax, of where they came to rejuvenate, of where they came to catch their breath. Thanks for watching Memory Mountain. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story looking back over the landscape of Americana.